This week, we're diving back into Season 0, Chapter 11, The Ghost of Valgardia, where Cyrus comes face to face with the dark truth of why he's made it this far. I've worked with my audio artist, Zoran, to infuse this chapter with more magic, more wonder, and more incredible artistry than the original version. And along the way, we're taking a look back at the Seventh Valkyrie journey as we make our way towards Season 3. Welcome to the Seventh Valkyrie Listen Along. Let's rock and roll. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Seventh Valkyrie Listen Along. I'm your host, Colin Sharp, creator and current voice of the Seventh Valkyrie. If you are a new listener coming through the series for the first time, welcome! And if you're a grizzled hero of Edera, it is great to have you back. Spoiler warning, as always, for today's episode. This is the last episode of the Season 0 Listen Along before the epilogue, so be wary. I will be talking about stuff that happens at the end. So don't spoil it for yourself if you do not want to. In the meantime, let's get into what happened in the chapter. And this chapter/episode picks up where we left off. Cyrus is burned alive down to the cinders by the fire of the world's ending. And yet somehow he maintains some form of consciousness. And our old pal C is still around and bugging the shit out of Cyrus. From this strange otherworldly space, Cyrus encounters a candle that sends a rush of memories and feelings flashing past Cyrus all at once. And in the next moment, he knows that through some power, he's witnessed the very essence of Bram. With a whispered prayer, he bids farewell to his fallen friend, just in time to face a new threat, the fire of the world's ending. And this force's purpose isn't exactly clear, though it does delight in tormenting Cyrus and extracting painful, pseudo-eternal punishment on the men who killed Bram. But their suffering is too much for Cyrus, who begs for it to end, and the fire ridicules his weakness, but eventually does just burn all the men to ashes and let them die. With little more than his cruel words, the fire eventually tells Cyrus that none of this is over, that it's all just beginning, and rebuilds him, leaving Cyrus naked and alone back on the plains beyond Sunsetting. But he's not completely without help. There's a gift of clothing that Bram never got to give him, as well as a partial lift from Kaya, the horse, who Cyrus eventually sends on towards Bram's family. Meanwhile, Cyrus is able to make it to the forest, even in the face of the charging Edoran soldiers, and flees deep into the primal wilds, leaving us uncertain about what's going to happen with him as we get into Season 1. But before we get into that, let's talk about a little stuff behind the scenes. And I think from an audio artistry perspective, this is another chapter where we just get so much good juice. The sort of weird between void space that Cyrus finds himself in is sufficiently weird and spooky. The fire's power is pulsing and real. The moments of inferno and flame come alive. And then we bid farewell to Cyrus's Sunsetting journey and join him on a new one, into this forest he'd been warned never to enter, at least not until it was the last resort. And this is a huge transitional moment. Cyrus is one of our main characters, obviously, and tracing his journey in this early season lays the foundation for a lot of the struggles he'll be facing for his entire time in Edera. He's an outsider, not just to the Freelanders, but the Ederans as well, and this is a time of incredibly tenuous peace, a peace that may already be falling apart. So we're left with a lot of questions. What can a young man with a strange gift for languages, a shot memory, and an annoying voice in his head do in the face of such a daunting challenge? Well, we'll have to find out in the next season. But for now, and we'll start getting into that next week with, or not next week, but after we finish up the epilogue, when we roll right on into Season 1. But for now, that brings us to the end of this episode of the Listen Along. Stay tuned for the reimaginings of the epilogue dropping Wednesday, the Listen Along dropping next Friday, and then we're rolling on into Season 1. Now, if you're itching to get ahead, you're not alone, and you can do that one of two ways. You can listen to the episodes as they were released right now, today, for free, or if you'd like to experience the full magic of the series, you can join us on Patreon as a hero of Edera and get exclusive access to Season 0 and Season 1's reimaginings. We're kind of done with Season 0's reimaginings, but you'll get deep into Season 1 weeks before it hits the public. Choice is yours. We're just glad to have you along for the ride as we make our way towards Season 3.